Hello, and welcome back to Behind the Post. I'm beyond excited to announce my next guest. She's the social growth marketer at Biteable, a video maker that transforms important messages into engaging videos using custom animations and branded scenes. As a one-person social team, she's responsible for Bitable's organic presence across all platforms. In the last year, Bitable's TikTok videos have accumulated over 50 million views and received hundreds of shares from accounts like CNN, Slice, the LA Times, and Betches. Please welcome to the show, Hailys Moulton. Hailys, are you ready to go behind the post with me?
I am ready. Let's do it.
Amazing. I'm so excited. And actually, before we dive in, I wanted to share the story of how I actually found you in Biteable because it's the exact reason why I love social media. So I created a TikTok on my personal account about the day in the life of a social media manager, a B2B social media manager specifically. And Biteable commented on my video, and that is how I found Biteable. Before that, I've never heard of Biteable, or I didn't know you. So I think that just proves like it's crazy because on TikTok, you never know who you're going to reach. And I don't know, that's the exact reason why I love social media. You never know who you're going to reach, and it's amazing. So I'm so grateful for that and that I met you, and I'm so excited to dive in.
It's so true. Yeah, I love, like you said, finding those new communities and you never know who you're going to see. I feel like especially on a platform like TikTok, there's a lot of B2C or like D2C companies. So as soon as I saw B2B social media managers, I was like, oh, she gets it. She knows what I'm going through. This will be a
Yes.
good friend.
Yes, amazing. And I saw your account and I was blown away. And we're going to dive into like the TikTok of it all because I think your TikTok is incredible. And I love what you guys are doing, especially in the B2B space. But before we dive in, could you just go a little bit more into detail about what Biteable is and the value that you guys are bringing to your customers?
Yeah, absolutely. So Biteable is the world's simplest video maker. We were actually originally created with the intention of marketing to small business owners and small business marketers with the idea of they would be able to create like social media ads and videos that advertise their product without having to hire an external video team and spend tens of thousands of dollars that they may not have. But we actually recently shifted and we're positioning Biteable as a communication tool to make more effective and engaging communications for remote and hybrid teams.
Hmm.
So think of it like your HR team is onboarding an employee remotely. Instead of sending them an email with 12 different written documents on their first day, they could send them a short, branded, engaging video and it took maybe less than 10 minutes to create. So we are creating these branded templates for people in HR, internal comms, sales teams, anybody that's communicating with a team to use so they can plug their message in and transform it into something way more engaging.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I love it. And I see everywhere like all of these stats, like everyone wants more video content, more video content. So it's the perfect way to like wrap up your message into a visual. So I love it. I think it's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. It's been really cool to see the shift and see how our whole company has really shifted from targeting marketers to kind of becoming this communication tool and just the different functions that they've put into our Biteable editor to make it way easier for these leaders to communicate. It's really
Mhm.
inspiring and I'm so excited to see what happens in the future.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I love the new feature, the voiceovers.
Yes,
That's
just
great.
launched.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so I want to learn a little bit about your background and how you found yourself in social, because I think it's funny to see how people end up in a social media role because I used to be a teacher. I didn't go to school for social media, and it's funny that I'm here now. So I'd love to know a little bit about your journey and your past experiences and what brought you to Biteable.
Yeah, so I went to school for psychology, also had no intentions of going into social media. Right out of university, the tech startup caught my eye. My sister is a few years older than me. She was in the tech scene and it seemed to be working well for her. So I thought I'll just take the same route.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually joined a fintech startup as a people and culture coordinator. So I was more on the HR side of things there, and I was planning a lot of internal events. And I kind of job hopped around a little bit to get a feel for exactly what I wanted to do. And I ended up at another company as an events manager, and their social media manager had recently left the company. And I'm not sure why, but they reached out to me and they were like, would you be interested in taking this on? They were a D2C company, so it was a lot of user generated content. It didn't take too much time on my side. So I was like, yeah, this would be a cool thing to learn. So I started doing their social and I really, really loved it. And I knew it was something I wanted to do as my full-time role instead of just a piece of another role. And
Mm-hmm.
then COVID hit and events were no longer a thing. And although I wasn't laid off, which was very fortunate, I
Mm-hmm.
realized that maybe the event industry wasn't as stable as I thought it was. So I started looking for full-time social media roles that were fully remote because I loved working from home. And
Mm-hmm.
I found Biteable. I didn't think I had a chance at getting the role because I didn't have a ton of experience, but the team was great. They were willing to take me on and give me a shot. And I've been here for about 2 years now running social.
Wow. Well, they definitely picked the right woman for the job because the social presence you guys have is amazing and you guys are so relatable and just human too. Like I feel when I'm reading your posts, it like just makes you feel good. So I love all of the content you're creating. And I mentioned in the intro that you are a team of one, which I can totally relate. I'm also a team of one, and I want to pick your brain a little bit about how you manage it all, because I know from experience it can be overwhelming and challenging. So I'm curious to know, what does a typical day look like for you?
Yeah, I think you can probably relate to this in the sense that with social, every single day is different. You literally never know what you're going to wake up to in the morning. Like, did something go
Yeah.
viral overnight for the wrong reasons or for the right reasons? You never know. So I typically have like a pretty vague structure that I apply to my day. So I have a little bit of like normalcy. I start off doing probably what everybody in social does. As soon as I wake up, I check my phone to make sure there's no immediate fires that need to be put out. And then
Mhm.
I'll do the quick little things like engaging with any comments that came in, anything on our community, checking all of our DMs. And then after that is taken care of, I kind of really jump into our actual work. So the way that I, as a one-person team, structure my day, I found it really helpful to set like blocks in my schedule that reoccur every single week. So on Monday and Thursday afternoons, that's my time to film TikToks. On
Mhm.
Wednesdays, that's my time to plan content. So I kind of have these chunks scheduled throughout the week that no matter what else is going on, I know this is going to happen on this day and this is what I have coming up. So that's what I've found really helpful. So yeah, as I just mentioned, Monday afternoon is all TikTok content, whether it's like finding sounds, filming. I tend to set aside about an hour and a half and I'll just bulk film like 10 to 15 videos, most of which never see the light of day, but I have them if I need them. And then throughout the day, I kind of take care of other little things that are going on our other channels as well. We also have a YouTube channel, which takes up a decent amount of time. We create like video marketing tutorials on there. And I am also the face of the YouTube channel. So I have like a full studio set up in my garage. So there's a lot of filming in my day to day. But yeah, that's kind of the base of it, I suppose, aside from all of our other social tasks that we deal with.
Oh my gosh, I'm laughing because I've seen that studio in the videos you guys have created, and I thought that was totally at your office. That's
No,
hilarious that
that's
that's
in my
in.
garage.
Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Oh
Yeah,
my
the
gosh.
life of a remote team. They like shipped me out this full studio setup, and it used to be in a guest room in my apartment, but I just don't have space for it anymore. So thankfully, I have a garage, and I'm not in there for long periods of time, but I live in Vancouver, so the weather is normally pretty cold and damp. So whenever I go
Mhm.
out there, I'm in like my boots, my sweaters are layered up, and I just go film in the corner and then come back inside.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. The realities of working remotely. Oh my
Yeah, it
gosh.
looks very glamorous on screen
It
if only
does.
you saw like the wide angle.
That is so funny. Well, I can totally relate to I check my phone first thing in the morning, like when I'm still in bed, to make sure like there's nothing I need to do like right away. That's
Yep.
like the life of working in social. Like you're basically always on.
Yeah.
But
I
I
don't know
think,
about you, but my screen time is like through the roof. Whenever I get that
same.
notification, it's normally about 12 hours on
Oh
average,
my
which
gosh.
is bad. But
Yeah. It's crazy because like as social media managers, we're doing social all day long. And you think about our colleagues, they might go on social media to kind of like relax and unwind at the end of the day. But for us, I mean, I still do that, but I'm on social all day long. Like
100%.
it's hard
Yeah.
to unplug.
And it's hard to even go on social now for our own enjoyment. I don't know about you, but I'll go on TikTok just because I enjoy spending time watching TikTok videos. But I
Mhm.
find myself like saving sounds, writing down ideas, DMing
Yes.
Biteable things that I can use to make videos. Like there's always some sort of work tied into it.
Always, always. I'm scrolling or I'm on LinkedIn scrolling on Twitter and I see an idea and I immediately pull out my notes app and I'm like writing down or right as I'm falling asleep, like an idea will pop into my head. So I feel like we're always on and like always thinking about work and the next best thing we can do. So I
Totally,
totally feel
totally.
you. That is so funny. So it seems like you break everything into days, which is interesting. So you have like a day dedicated to like LinkedIn, to TikTok, things like that. That's interesting because I kind of plan my content. I kind of work on it each day, like day to day. So I
Mhm.
don't have specific days, but maybe that is something that I could try and see if that works for me because my like content creation is what if I found it's the most time consuming part of the role and it's challenging when you have to plan so much content and create so much. So that's an interesting way of breaking it up because I'm still like playing around and seeing what works best for me. But when you are planning content, are you doing it at like a month at a time? Like how far out are you scheduling and like planning for? Like are you doing it month to month or like preparing just a week before?
Yeah, I like to do a week before, and I have a few reasons for that. Mainly the one you said about like it's just so much content to create at one time if I'm doing it a month in advance. And I find after I've created about a week, I am just like out of creativity. Like I have no
Mhm.
good ideas, and my content reflects that. So, what I do is, as I mentioned, I have those chunks, but actually every Wednesday, that's like my big I have my full day blocked off just for content creation. So every Wednesday I go in and for all platforms, I'll schedule our content for the following week. So I
Okay.
do that in the middle of the week just so I can kind of keep up with like what Biteables released earlier that week, if we've had any blog posts come out, any new features that have launched, anything that needs to be mentioned on social. I find if I do it one week at a time, I can keep it pretty current and like pretty
Mhm.
up to date. But
Yeah.
then, like you said, it for me it helps me not get so burnt out and like I have these ideas that come to me and then I can put them out there pretty quickly and then it
Mhm.
just allows us to be flexible too. I can look back from the previous week like what did well, what were people liking, and like how can I recreate that for the following week.
Mhm. I kind of do mine the same way. I do it everything have the content ready at least a week in advance.
Yeah.
Because I feel the same way. If I had to do a month in advance, it would not be as creative. You know, it would
Yeah.
kind of be like, okay, I just need to get all this content out so we have content to share. But doing it weekly and having content ready a week before, I feel like keeps that creativity. And it also allows like things do pop up in social, like
Oh
things
yeah.
pop up and you have to share something. So it's nice that you can move those posts and have them ready for the next week and then schedule in what has to go out that day or the next day. So it's nice that it's also flexible and nothing is too set in stone.
That's so true. And I find myself like if I schedule it for more than a week in advance, I look back and it's like not even relevant anymore by
Mhm.
the time I'm ready to post it. So
Yeah.
whether it's a new meme that's come up or like a show is trending, like when Inventing Anna came out or the Tinder Swindler and all of those
Mhm.
memes, I was like, okay, well, I can use those in my content now and kind of take inspiration from that. So yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. I'm lucky in the sense that I'm only doing this for one company. So it makes it a lot easier that I can do it on a week to week basis. If I was
Mhm.
at an agency responsible for like 15 accounts, it'd probably be a
Yeah.
different story. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's
I,
kind of what I found works best so far.
Yeah. I mean, you have to be quick and social. Like time is fleeting. So I
You
feel the
really
same
do.
way, especially on the agency side. I always think about that. Like it would be so challenging managing multiple brands social at a time. It I can't even imagine how they do it all.
I'm not even active on my personal socials and I have a hard enough time. Like, am I posting this to Bitable's Instagram story or my Instagram story? And I like triple check it every single time. So yeah, kudos to
Yeah.
anybody doing all of those accounts.
Mhm.
I couldn't.
Yeah, it's a lot just for one. But I want to talk TikTok for a second. I love Vitable's TikTok account. It totally cracks me up, but I have to know how you're making TikTok work for B2B, because what's interesting about your content is it's not product focused. It's not like Bitable's company culture. It is totally relatable, like corporate funny content. So I have to know what is like the strategy around this and how you decided you were going to make TikTok work for B2B.
Yeah. So TikTok, we started our page about a year ago, and it was a
Okay.
challenge at the time. My boss was like, let's just try TikTok. We'll post one video every single day for a week and see what happens. So I wasn't really on TikTok at the time personally, and I did not know much about the platform. And you can tell from our early videos, one of the first videos we put up was like this animated video that I made in Biteable just of our different characters walking across the screen. Like it was really, really bad. I think it got maybe 50 views. But yeah, so it was just a huge experiment for us. And it honestly still is. Like you mentioned strategy, and I'll be honest, we don't really have a set in stone strategy for TikTok. It's so hard to make one because that app
Mhm.
moves so quickly. Like that's
Yep.
why I film twice a week, because if I didn't, then I wouldn't be able to like keep up with all of these trends. So the
Mhm.
way we approach TikTok is from an awareness point of view. Like we just want
Okay.
more people to become familiar with Biteable, kind of like how you found us in your comment section.
Mhm.
Maybe the people will see our videos come up. So Biteable is a fully remote company. This was my first time working from home. We started our TikTok page in the middle of COVID when a lot of people were working from home for the first time. So we started making videos about the realities of working from home, things that
Mhm.
people don't want to talk about, but everybody's doing it, like taking a shower in the middle of the day, going to the gym in the middle of the day, leaving your computer to go do laundry, like totally
Mhm.
normal things, but everybody feels this like weird sense of shame. So we started poking fun at it from a corporate side of things. And that's what we found really got views, again, because it's like relatable and funny and people are going through the same thing. So we kind of turned that into like our little TikTok niche, very work from home, corporate millennial focus. We'll make some videos about like, I'll be nervous about a one-on-one that I have with my boss because I think I'm getting fired, even though I've done nothing wrong. Like
Yeah.
silly little things like that.
Mhm.
So yeah, we kind of approach TikTok not with the goal of people signing up for Biteable or people like creating an account, but just we want more people to know about our company, and maybe they'll click through the link in our bio, maybe they won't, but more people are
Mhm.
hearing about us. And it's actually taken an interesting turn. We've had a couple of videos go viral that turned into like recruiting videos
Mm.
to join the Biteable team. And I posted them not with that intention
Yeah.
whatsoever. I just posted them as like part of a trend. But yeah, there was one video, it got over 1 million views, about working remotely with funny coworkers and a great team. And people started commenting like, where can I apply? Where can I join?
Wow.
And our careers page, the day that video was posted, got 20,000 visits. And it normally gets about 60 to 80 visits a day. It was
Wow.
wild. Yeah. And
Yeah.
so it just like, it can take a whole nother turn in a way that you don't expect. But yeah, so we don't make videos about our product. I find anytime I mention our product, the video absolutely flops. So I just stopped because it wasn't
Mhm.
helping us with our goal of awareness. We
Yeah.
measure our success in video views. So on a monthly basis, I'll put together a report. This is how many video views we got. This is what our engagement was like. And yeah, I'm really lucky that nobody at Biteable is like, how many signups did that turn into? And like, how many
Mhm.
dollars did we make from this content? They are like really flexible. They let me post what I want, and they just like really encourage experimenting with different types of content. So yeah, we kind of used TikTok as our platform to experiment and try new things.
Mhm. Well, it's working amazingly. So it's purely brand awareness, which I think that is kind of how B2B brands need to, look at TikTok, because you can't post what you're posting on LinkedIn or Twitter on TikTok. It is just not going to work. So it
Yeah.
has to be something that's relatable. And yeah, it's not going to work if it's what you're posting on LinkedIn. So I love that you created it in that way and that you kind of had the freedom to like take it and run with it. You didn't have to do any convincing. And I bet looking back at those old videos is like kind of cringy, but yeah.
Absolutely. But it's cool to see how far we've come.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
TikTok is so powerful. And that's one reason why I think B2B brands need to be on it more, because even if you are doing it for brand awareness, it can have other benefits like recruitment and things like that, because you never know who you're going to reach. And I mean, 20,000 visits to the careers page, like that is insane. So
Yeah, it was
kudos to
wild.
you.
Thank you. It was
Amazing.
really exciting. Honestly, I've had a lot of fun with it. I feel really lucky that, like I said, the Biteable team has been so supportive. I
Mhm.
don't think our page would be nearly as successful if I had to show every single video in my drafts to my boss to get his approval before we posted it. That's not the
Yeah.
case, and it's never been the case. So I think that has really set us up for success. But I think from like the B2B perspective, a lot of people just naturally think of B2B marketing as boring,
Mhm.
unfortunately. So
Yep.
it's kind of fun to like twist that narrative a bit, because even if you're a B2B company, you're still marketing to a person in the
Mhm.
other company. So you have to look at it in like a B2C way, tell stories, be relatable, be funny, get their attention. And
Mhm.
yeah, we have like more boring stuff on LinkedIn, but if you come to our TikTok page, it's really funny.
Yeah, you guys are having a lot of fun over there. Amazing. Well, I want to end on a question that I ask every single one of my guests, and I'm really curious to know your answer. So, what is one thing that you wish your colleagues in other departments knew about social media?
Yeah, I think I've touched on it a few times. I'm lucky. I have great colleagues, but I think one thing that I've seen a lot of social media managers have this thought, especially on TikTok, is that a strategy that's working for another company might not necessarily work for your company. So
Mhm.
the classic example for TikTok is Duolingo.
Yep.
They're killing it on TikTok, like absolutely crushing it. But you can't look at their strategy and try and copy and paste it onto your brand and think that you'll get 3 million followers, because that's just not the case. Like there's so many things that need to be taken into consideration. So I
Mhm.
think look at those companies as inspiration,
Yep.
take some ideas from them, but don't replicate exactly what they're doing. Like put your own spin on it, find your own space. So that would be my wish. Same with
Mhm.
like Wendy's on Twitter. Don't just like bring this big idea to your social manager and say, we should be more like Duolingo on TikTok. Like,
Mhm.
okay, send me an owl costume then, and I will
Yeah.
put it on. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's my thing, is find your own space.
Mhm.
Don't expect the success that worked for one company in a totally different market to work for
Mhm.
yours.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like what works for someone else is not guaranteed to work for you. And you
Yeah.
have to put your own touch on it and showcase what makes your company unique. So I totally agree with you there.
Totally. Like if you're just copying another company, there's no reason for people to follow you if they're already following that other company, because the content's going to be the same. So
Yep,
your own thing.
exactly, exactly. Well, Haley, thank you so much for chatting with me. I loved getting to know you a little bit better and talking all things TikTok. So thank you so much for chatting with me and going behind the posts.
Thank you for having me. It's been fun.